Yo, is this thing on? Can somebody turn this thing on? Is the microphone on? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's on. We are live. Hey, check it out. It was like, I don't know, 3:30 this morning, something like that. I'm still getting a flashing green, so I'm having an issue streaming somewhere. I'll figure it out. I think we're live in some parts and it might not be working in others. That's okay. Check it out. Woke up this morning, right? I was actually in a little bit of trouble with my wife. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later, or maybe we won't. She doesn't like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But woke up this morning, right? Did the early bird thing. I got to make sure this thing's live. This flashing green light over here is really driving me crazy. Are we live on Facebook? Let me check. I'm going to check. I'm just going to check. This is a live show. You guys know how we do around here. We just flow. We go with the flow. Yes, it says I'm live, so at least I'm live somewhere. I don't know what's flashing at me. But anyways, so got up early this morning, went downstairs, grabbed my glass of water, publishing. Yeah, okay, got it. So we're having an issue on LinkedIn. Maybe we're not live on LinkedIn. Got up this morning, grabbed my Morning 5 planner. This guy right here, game changer. By the way, my wife let me know that I have 25 of these left. Apparently they were buried in the garage somewhere. So I have 25 of these and there are 3 months left in 2023. So these are still good for 3 more months. If you don't have one for any reason and you would like to have one, I have 25 of them. I will send it to you for free. Just shoot me a little DM. I'll send it to you. These things cost like $50, another $10 to ship. But I'll send it to you for free. Maybe you lost yours. Maybe your dog ate yours. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you just never got one. Maybe you're new to this community. It's an amazing, amazing planner. Shoot me a DM. I'll send it to you for free. But right there at the top of every page of this planner, it says, there's a quote that's submitted by like a community member. And today's says, yesterday you said tomorrow. That's all it says. It says, yesterday you said tomorrow. And I'm like, dang. 4 little words that hit powerfully, especially during a week where we are talking about taking action, right? What are the things that you have said I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to do next week. I'm going to do that next month. I'll do that in the first quarter. We'll do that in 2024. The things that you said yesterday you said tomorrow, now here we are today. So we're going to take action today. And I have one of the greatest action takers of all time on the show today. I shouldn't say I have. My friend Heather and I have the greatest action taker of all time on the show. So we're going to dive in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for being here. Share this out if you haven't done so already. Tag a friend. It's time to rise and grind. Good morning and welcome to Rise and Grind Live. Unlock your full potential with the power of daily motivation, education, inspiration with your host, Lundy, a husband to 1, father to 8, global motivational speaker, and the author of The Morning 5.
I'm Heather Parody, former therapist turned online entrepreneur and wannabe comedian.
Celebrity interviews, transformational information, and a massive community around the #1 morning show in the world. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right. Today is Friday, October 6th, 2023. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Friday, October 6th, 2023. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. Hey, my friend Heather Parody's here. Heather, how are you? Uh-oh, I don't hear you, Heather. Where did she go? I heard you before.
This is so funny. Do you hear me now?
I totally hear you now.
Oh my gosh, I muted myself. Listen, you know, at the very beginning, every morning, Glenn's like, is this thing on? Is this thing on? And you know, he's playing because it's on. Now, when your girl's hosting the show, it's probably not on. And I'm for real struggling. No, it's good to be here, y'all. Good to be here.
Good to have you here, Heather. I'm super excited because obviously you're here in the studio with us this morning live, and I appreciate that. But we also have a guy that some of the members of this community know well. Other members of this community might not know as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind, the one and only Mr. Ramon Ray.
Are you looking to take your event to the next level? Want an event host or keynote speaker who your audience will absolutely love? Want someone whose audience engagement is a delight? Then you want Ramon Ray to keynote or host your next event. Ramon loves serving your audience. And audiences love Ramon's high energy. You'll fall in love with how easy Ramon is to work with on stage and off the stage. Ramon brings his years of practical experience, tips, and best practices to your event. Twitting, everybody's TikToking, everybody's twerking. How will you stand out? Have Ramon speak, host, or keynote your next event. That's a good question. I think it served me because I think the opposite. If you're not curious, how do you grow? I don't think you can grow if you're not curious, if you're not always challenging. Doesn't mean you have to be an idiot about it. And Robert says, Ramon, it's Monday and it's sunny outside. No, it's not. It could be snowing. That's being stupid. But I think the curiosity of challenging yourself, how can we do better? Asking, hey, Robert, listen, I baked this cake for you. Was it okay? That's curiosity. I mean, not just to give it to him and leave. No, I want to hear it. Ramon, it was great. My 2 cents, Ramon, a little more sugar, a little less walnuts. Great. Now we know. That's curiosity. So I think curiosity in the broader sense is just being willing to course correct, being willing to do better. I think that's the aspect of what curiosity is all about.
Ramon is a speaker. He is the author, best-selling author of Celebrity CEO. He is a leader in the Breakfast with Champions world. He is my friend. He is clearly not a fan of walnuts for some reason. Less walnuts in the cake. I don't know. Mr. Ramon Ray, welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. How are you this morning, sir?
Glenn, Lundy, and Heather Parody, thank you for having me here on hashtag Rise and Grind. It's been a minute. So glad to be here. Of course, I've been here always in the audience, listening on Clubhouse. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. And it's amazing, Glenn, to hear one's own voice and one's own promo. It is a painful experience, Heather. I don't know if you've been through that, but you're like seeing yourself, listening to yourself, and you're like, stop.
You're
good to be
so
here,
good. You're so good. The first time I saw you on stage was in May at VCon, and I was like, damn, this dude knows what he's doing. It was like one of the best. You were facilitating a panel or interviewing someone. So good, so natural, and that curiosity just comes through you. I think that's why people love you.
And ridiculous amounts of energy, always, right? Always on level 10. And it's funny because you'll see him walking, like I saw him at VCon before he was on stage, right? And he's like walking like a lion. Like you would see a lion just kind of slowly kind of going like this, right? He's walking around, he's feeling the audience, he's like in this little space. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, and then it comes out and it's just, yeah. Ramon, have you always been like that? Were you like that as a kid? Were you just like intensely focused, and then once the lights came on, just like insane energy?
I think so, Glenn. Can I tell you and Heather a little story, just what may validate that, Glenn? Can I tell you a little story?
Yes, while I fix the title that says Heather Parody on your slide. Yes, you're welcome to do that.
I'll take Heather Parody on my slide. It's okay. But listen, but I can be Heather. Hey, good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Well,
my name is Heather Parody. Oh my God, listen, my kids are going to come inside any day now. I have on my 3rd cup of coffee, so I could be Heather if like anything you want. But bottom line is, Glenn, we're at church. All of a sudden, these people walk in the door, no joke, baseball bats, bandanas on. They rush to the front of the podium. One boy gets up front. I stand up, deck him in the throat. He drops down, no joke. And my pastor jumps up and says, Ramon, it's a church play. I was the only one who didn't know it was a church play.
No way.
Poor boy hit to the ground. So my point is, I've always been, as you've said, Glenn, an action taker, I think, even from a young age.
Yeah, you are the master at taking action. And you've been speaking, traveling, on stages, doing all kinds of amazing things over the last few years that I've seen. You've really grown and elevated. It's been super cool. And I was curious, in the last couple years, you've spoke how many times do you think over probably the last couple years?
Paid full fee. Well, 20 or so times a year times take as many years you would like to take it.
Yeah. So you're speaking like twice a month in different venues, different events. And we're talking like big time events with all sorts of other speakers. But one of the things that's unique about you is when you're in those spaces, you capitalize on kind of every minute there. You're networking, you're serving, you're doing all of these things that I find is really special. And I'm just curious, kind of behind the scenes, who have you run into that maybe most either you found it like most intriguing, or you like they were completely opposite of who you thought they would be? Like, who really
rat
stands
somebody
out?
out on the internet?
Yeah, like who really?
We're a positive showing set.
Well, it could be that you thought they were bad and they turned out really good. It doesn't necessarily have to be the other way around. I'm just saying, somebody who really you meet a lot of interesting people. So I'd love for you to share.
Heather, this will not be the rat out person moment. We will leave them. The people on the shelf that I've met, Heather, I'll tell Glenn that in private, who was the jerk or moron. But this was happening this year. I just got off stage. And I always, Glenn, as well, and I know we three have similar hearts, I talk to the wait staff or servers, as it were, whatever word you want to use, the staff who are serving us the food and things of this nature. And sorry for the pixelation there. And a lady comes up to me and says, Ramon, I love your comments. This is an accent of Nigeria, Europe, Asia, or America, or the South.
It sounded really Jersey to me. I thought that was a Jersey accent.
The vacation capital of the world, brother. You know?
I know.
And she says, Ramon, I love what you said. I am the top speaker. Maybe she was from Poland, Ukraine, don't remember, in Europe. So that I almost teared up, Glenn, because she immigrated to America, came here, started as it were at the bottom, but she's a fellow speaker trying to get her way back to the top. So that was one of many impactful moments. But yes, Glenn, as you said, Heather said, I've been on stage with the best of the best, including yourself, as you've won Best Speaker in America award and more. But I think it's the surprises of seeing, quote unquote, the little people, and I say that in quotes, those who others may ignore, in realizing that they're, wow, amazing people.
Because you don't know who they're going to be. You have no idea who they're going to be. Is that girl who played Barbie, Roby, whoever? Homegirl's working at Subway, when she was trying to become an actress or whatever. So, I mean, all these people that were passing, that were disregarding, they could freaking be the next president of the United States.
She
they could
was
be your
working
boss
at Subway?
Yes. When she was like in her early 20s, she was working at Subway.
Oh my gosh. I would have paid extra for that sandwich. My goodness.
Oh, no. But to your point, I mean, like, we see people where they're currently at, except, not where they're going. Yes. I wanted to ask you about like the action part with the curiosity, though, because part of being curious is being open to like what's going on around you and observing and being, attentive. But when you mix that with action, sometimes that seems contrast because action's intentional and you're pushing towards something. So how do you balance like remaining open and curious and flexible while still being driven and taking action?
Wow, that's great. And Heather, curious side note, do you and Glenn go back and forth between who brings humor into it and who goes serious? Because you went really serious just now, and Glenn pulled us away like to laughing. And so this is like coffee and sugar and spice.
He wants it to be humorous. He wants it to be humorous, and I can't do it. Like, because I'm just like, tell me, let's go deep real quick.
Y'all dynamics is just hilarious in itself. It's beautiful. It's cute. It's amazing. I just had to bring it out. So the aspect of curiosity and taking action can be a conundrum indeed. But I think for me, I'm always going to be action taker, always, as we all know, on time, as late as we all know, things of this nature. So I'm always going to be that. But I think the curiosity of let's see if this works. I'm from the school of Seth Godin. He's a friend of mine, talking to him just yesterday, of I won't know unless I try it. And I'm not afraid, Heather and Glenn, of failure. I think that's another thing that God's given me. That gift, God gives us all a little special extra something. And failure, I just don't mind it. Don't mind things not working, because I know that's the only way I'm going to advance and going forward.
Yeah, you got to
say something funny, Glenn.
No, we're serious now. We're in serious mode. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Hold on. Something funny. Have you seen this Bobby Altoff girl?
Oh.
You haven't seen her yet, Ramon?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you a little clip of Bobby Altoff.
Let's go.
Okay, and then I want you to comment back. Okay, this is Bobby Altoff interviewing Charlie Puth. You know Charlie Puth?
I do not know Charlie Puth either. I don't know a lot of people.
I don't know how well this is going to work, Heather. I don't know how well this is going to work.
Let's see. I'll pretend I know
Charlie Puth.
Dude, Drake. Oh wait, that got taken off. Never mind.
Yeah, that got
Are you
taken
talking
down.
about the girl that you showcased who does the interviews? That one?
Yeah. What do you mean that I showcased?
Yes, I was introduced because of you. Yes, so I know that name. Yes,
I talked about her before on the show.
Well, let me see who it is. There's one person you've talked about. I don't know if it's the same person or not.
All right, check it out.
Sometimes I like silence, but no, I don't like silence. I really dislike
You're
silence.
just trying to like find common ground, but you just realized you can't.
I'm trying to relate to you.
Yeah.
I do it in music. When I write music, I try and relate to other people, but like I've never
You've
heard
never tried to relate to a mom.
I feel like I relate to a lot of moms potentially.
How?
Musically, I think like they like.
What do you do that is like a mom?
I have certain songs that moms might like parents.
That doesn't mean you relate to me. That just means just because I want to listen. It's not like I'm putting you on to relate.
But certain sounds have vibrational tones.
That doesn't do anything to me.
But it's within us.
It's not within me. Maybe you.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think that she's the most satirical comedian in the world. I love her humor. It has to be. And he doesn't even realize it is. He doesn't realize he's being set up. It's kind of like what we do sometimes on Clubhouse, Glenn. You and I will say, babies should never live in the home. No, Glenn, don't say that. And we're like, they don't know. We're just having fun here, people. So this what a talented girl.
Dude,
wow.
she makes every guest feel so uncomfortable. I love it, dude.
Wow.
I love
Everybody's saying she's an industry plant, though, Glenn. What do you think about that?
I think that when you type in BOBBI in Google, she's the first thing that pops up. You don't even have to put a last name in there. And so whether plant, not plant, they think she's a plant. They say, like, I wish people would talk about me the way they're talking about her. That's what I'm saying. Like she's moved up through the ranks. But these
where do you think she's gonna go?
I don't know what
I wish I had the money to like be her agent or something, like to lock her in today, because she's definitely in 5 years, she'll be in a whole nother place.
Yeah, but so those uncomfortable, awkward spaces. Talk to me about that, Ramon. Like, as a speaker, we are always...
That's deep. Come on.
As a speaker, we are always like trying to craft a story in such a powerful way, and you're trying to connect with 4 different personality types, right? And the awkward, uncomfortable moments or spaces, sometimes they show up, whether you mean them to or you don't mean them to, right? So talk to me about that space when you're in the awkward, uncomfortable. Where's the value in that? Is there value in that? How do you break through that? Talk to me about that.
I think what I'm hearing, Glenn, and Heather, I think there's 3 things possibly to this uncomfortability. One is the good uncomfortability, whether it's like a Marcus Lemonis. He talks about, hey, everybody, I'm Marcus Lemonis, a billionaire on TV. Guess what? I was abused as a child. And he starts to pull out from other people that's one type where he's intentionally doing it in a good way. Or, as I've recently done in some of my talks, Glenn, asking people to call and talk to people they haven't to in a while. I did that 2 days ago at an event. People started to tear up, and I've never experienced that before. That was a new element of my talk. So that's one part of
you had people in the audience pick up their phone and call someone they haven't talked to in a while.
Yes.
Lord
live,
Jesus.
like while you were. So you're like, here's your mic, and you can hear people dialing.
Well, all their phones. So the room of about 200 people.
Okay, everybody's calling.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's
okay,
right.
Go ahead.
The talk was called Human Connections in a Digital World. And I said, I want you to write down 3 people you need to talk to, 3 people you haven't been in touch with. And then later on in the talk, we had a pause, and you could hear and see people texting, typing, WhatsApping, voice messaging, saying, hey, I love you. Hey, we haven't talked. And I've gotten feedback on that. So you asked that question, Glenn, and I think that's where the part about uncomfortability, it can help. Because if you're not uncomfortable, if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, to tell the truth, to talk, to be open, to be vulnerable, then everything's on the surface, Glenn. And I don't think there's any time for that. There has to be a moment where we're willing to come back and say, let me expose myself just a bit more than usual. And that can go on stage or just amongst Heather, Glenn, and Ramon. So I think that's important. And I've seen Marcus Lemonis, as I mentioned, do that well on stage. It's a bit creepy because everybody can't handle it. And sometimes there's things happen, things you may not want to say at the moment. But vulnerability and being uncomfortable is powerful. I love it.
What about when you're live on the internet and there's a song playing that has the BIT word going on over and over again and you don't know it?
Has that ever happened to you?
Interview someone, what do you do then?
You smile and keep rolling with it.
What about when you create? What about when you create a beautiful, beautiful song?
It is.
You pour your heart into it, heart and
soul. You did not pour your heart into it. You were just talking yesterday about how AI does everything in 2 seconds. This was a 2-second thing.
I poured my heart and soul into this song, and then what about when you do that, and then your friend's like, "That song sucked, bro. You can't play that song anymore."
I feel like I'm waiting on my doctor to get on the phone, and he's not coming.
So it's elevator music.
What do you think about the scary Glenn yesterday morning? Like, what was that about? What do you think about the hello, good morning? It is time to rise and grind. How do you feel?
Well, Heather, Glenn did state that he is leading the way. So I get you. It was a bit, I get your point. But if you're getting on that, then me and Glenn, sorry, I'm hopelessly techie, loving AI. And I'm like, yeah, bring it, brother. Because he's showing the way. He's showing us what can be done, Heather.
But should it be done? But should it be done?
Yeah.
That's the question. Tell me why.
We have the option.
The option of scary Glenn versus the real Glenn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
y'all tell me what you think. Comment down below. Scary Glenn or real Glenn?
My mom didn't even watch the show yesterday, and she's watched like every episode of I guess we're almost at 1,300 episodes. She's watched every episode, and she did not watch yesterday because she just basically hates Thursday AI. She doesn't like the AI stuff. She didn't want anything to do with it. So I called her last night. I said, "Mom, you didn't call me about today's show," because she'll call me like every day. And I loved this part. Oh, that Ramon. Oh, that Scott Simons. I love that Scott Simons. Right? She'll call and tell me. She didn't sound like that. I don't know why I did that voice, but she says that. But last night I didn't get a call, so I'm like, "Mom, you didn't call," and she's like, "Oh, I think subconsciously I just forgot to watch the show today. I was doing a workout." I'm like, She's like completely out on the AI thing. Heather was out when we first met. Remember, not when we first met, but when we first talked AI, Heather was completely out. And then we flipped the script.
You're not in it?
So I use AI every single day for written stuff, audio-based things, and so forth. I think what trips me up here is the deep train again. Let's go deep real quick. I'm fascinated with trying to figure out how do we make the online space more human, and the soullessness of what I saw yesterday without, like, there was powerful words. It looked like Glenn, but there was a soul thing there gone, and removing that soul element and that spirit element, to me, there's just like a big red flag that comes up, because that's where God moves. That's where magic happens. That's where miracles take place, is through human spirit. And so deep AF right now at 5:55, y'all, but let's go. Like, I think it's cool. It also raises a red flag, because I'm like, this is not what God created. This isn't us.
But Sister Heather, if God can speak from a donkey, and he can tell the donkey to
and a flaming bush.
And a flaming bush, can't he speak through Glenn through the power of AI, a robot, sister?
But couldn't it just be that y'all are like, no, this is stereotypical, but y'all are men, and men be loving some new toys and gadgets and stuff, and you're like, y'all are just defending it because it's cool. It's like a new remote car for y'all.
But what if it was just audio and you wouldn't have seen the visual, and you just would have heard the powerful words that the AI wrote? Like, say it was just a podcast, right? Not a visual, just audio. Say. Let me take this a little bit further. Miss Parody. Hold on. Before we do that, though, you know what we got to do on this show. Come on.
Oh,
That's right.
We almost forgot. You got to do some dancing.
Made by a human.
For those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. Catherine Guidi, hit the share button. Tarika, share it out. Vicky Everett, let's go. Kim Fair, you know you got to share. Kim Fair, you know you need to share. I like that. I'm a poet and didn't even know it. This is the part of the show where you're going to tag a friend. I'm going to say good morning to you. You're going to say good morning to me. We're going to do some dancing, get these objects in motion. It's late in the show. But we got to do it. Andy, what's up? Pastor Jeff, great to see you. How you doing, Melvin? Melvin is in the building. I also see Jeff. Oh, I just said hi to you, Pastor Jeff. You're in two places. Ryan Gallagher's in the building. Robin Price, Russell Hill. What's up, Regina? How you doing, William? How you doing, Miranda? Core Element is up in here. What's up, Tori and BJ and Jackie? I see all these folks up in the building. I got Rolene. I got Sister Girl is in the building. Sol Salcido, Nolan, Leslie. We've got Randy Wagner, Alicia Moore, Tara Hope. What's up, Ray? How you doing, Eric and Dorenzo? Are you guys still dancing back here in the lobby, in the back room over here? Don't be slacking on the dancing, all right? Liza Myers Borges is in the building. Great to see you this morning, Miss Liza. I see Rosh, I see Rocky, I see Christiane, I see Shaggy, I see Lakeisha Golden Brown. All these folks up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Hey, for those of you that know, those of you that don't know, we've been doing a series on action this week. Shoot me a text, 859-208-2351. Starting on Monday, this will be an accountability group that you can be a part of. If you need help being held accountable to something you want to change in your life, just text me the word action to 859-208-2351. I'm working on a book. I need you to hold me accountable on the book. I'll hold you accountable on things too. All right? Okay, cool. Now, on that note, I believe we were talking about some AI stuff. So let's talk through this, all right? Let's say there's a message.
I like how we're in a club 1 minute and now it's like, all right, now the Lord intended us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Think about a guy like Stephen Hawking. Okay. So got a powerful message to deliver. Let's just say, can type it all out, right? Can't necessarily voice it. Boom, boom, boom. You type it, throw them into a good-looking little avatar. Well, let's get rid of that. Not even video. We're just going to go podcast. You type it, boom, put it in a voice, turn it into a podcast. Somebody clips it and rips it, and it's freaking Joe Rogan, right? Like,
big difference.
But it's AI.
Source is human. AI is tool versus the AI is the tool. I mean, the source, and human is the tool. So where's the creation coming from? Is it coming solely from AI, which is soulless, or is it coming from the human and we're using AI as a tool to elevate that natural creativity? That's what bothers me, because AI doesn't have soul in it.
But the AI can't create without the human. I had to type in the prompts. I had to ask the questions.
Typing is not creating. That's not
What?
creating.
Heather is. Heather.
Oh my goodness.
That's my whole life.
No. I don't mean typing. Like, you can type a novel out, but I'm saying for you to write a story about a dog named Humphrey, and he loses his bone, and he has mom issues, and it spits out 500 words. That's not your creation. That's an idea that you gave AI, and AI came up with the creation.
So what about in your book, Big Magic, one of my favorite books of all time that you transformed my life with? Big Magic says that the ideas come, they grab a host, and then the host brings them to life. And if the host does not bring them to life, that idea will go somewhere else to be brought to life, right?
But you're saying AI should be the host, but you're saying AI should be the host.
But what I'm saying is, are you really the creator of the idea? If the idea is already a thing, it's already in existence, and it could land on Heather, or maybe it could land on Ramon. So it doesn't matter whether Ramon creates it or Heather creates it. The idea in itself, the dog named Humphrey, that idea is a living, breathing thing. How it comes to fruition is different.
Come on, Ramon, what you got?
No, I was going to say, and furthermore, Heather, keep in mind, as Damon John says, very few of us have original ideas, meaning we have original thought, how we present it. There's nobody like Glenn, how he shows up, how Heather shows up. But take the things I've done, all the books were here, we built upon others. Zig Ziglar, Thomas Edison, Adam, God, go back as far as you want. So a lot of it built upon others. That's all AI is doing. So I hear you, Heather, but I think AI has a point and tool in it. And yes, I would miss the human element. But what is that? Is that an AI powered
This
light?
is a candle. This is the idea. Okay. This is from God. This is idea coming in. Sometimes it hits you in the head. We don't know where it comes from. Cool. Muse. Then you have the host right here. So the idea comes and hits the host, and the host takes it somewhere. What I'm saying is the host needs to be the human. Oops, I just spilled my coffee. As opposed to the AI, because then we're removing the human out of it. Right. So I don't know, man. Like, do y'all want to? Do you really think that something's going to move you deeply on a soul level? That there was no human involved. That it was
But see, Heather,
robot.
that's not we're not saying move the human out. Just to be clear on that small, not saying move the human out. We're saying augment the human, 10x the human. I think, Glenn, right? That's not we're saying move the human out.
I'm not sure what I'm
in
saying.
pain.
We just want to promote Heather. That's all.
All
That's
I
all we're
know
trying to
is
do
that it must be explored, and to me, the human there is something. What was created yesterday took a human to spark and to guide and to lead and to question. The AI tool responded, and then, et cetera, et cetera. And I understand the soulless part that what Heather's speaking to, right? There's nothing behind the eyes of that avatar. I totally get that.
Today.
But yeah, today. I totally get that.
Oh God.
But it still took a human, right? A human who created the AI. I think
Today,
that AI a year from now, you are going to find that one of the greatest novels ever written is going to come from an AI. One of the greatest movies ever created is going to come from an AI.
Heather. Yeah.
I think all of that will exist in a year or maybe even less. But it's going to be prompted by a human. Like, what's his name? Who's the Titanic director guy? James Cameron. Avatar, Titanic, all of those things. Dude, James Cameron, they're going to take all of James Cameron's notes and information and data and so on and so forth. They're going to plug all that in. They're going to take how he creates and so on and so forth. They're going to take that, and James himself, they're going to interview James, and they're going to take what he says, and they're going to throw it in a machine, and it's going to spit out like, Patow. The name of the movie is going to be Patow, and it's going to be the dopest movie ever.
And to that point, Glenn, if you don't mind, Glenn, this is your show, but can we squeeze in Heather and Glenn about your book? When is the landing page going to be done? Let's give credit to the BWC person who said it, and remind us, Glenn, what's the book title, the theme going to be about, if you don't mind, even though this is your show?
So there's no book title yet. Or maybe there's a book title. Or maybe we keep it a secret.
Okay.
There's multiple potential book titles.
Okay.
But since you asked, Ramon, yes, we are creating a book that is, I'm very excited about it. It's targeted at the auto industry, but it'll be valuable for everyone. But it's a storytelling book that has 12 principles in it to apply when it comes to growing, leading your business, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm doing it in the form of like The Greatest Salesman in the World, kind of, where it's got this story in the beginning, right? That's captivating and so on and so forth. So as of yesterday, I am 35 pages in, roughly, about 12,000 words in, and I'm going to finish it by the end of probably this month, maybe mid-November. What?
This month? That's Action Jackson, y'all.
Yes,
that's a lot of action, dude.
Yeah, it's got to get
Why
done.
this month? Why the end of this month? How come?
Well, it's coming out because 2024 is my Kobe year. That's what we're calling 2024, the Kobe year. Champion, excellence, all that stuff. So the book's coming out January 1st. Patow. And so in order to get it printed and all of that, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Like we've tried talking through some of that. I still don't know the best strategy. What do you think? What's the best strategy?
I think that based on if it's going to come out the end of this month and if it's going to launch in January, I believe it's too late for a New York-based traditional send it to China, but give it back on a ship in 4 months publisher, I would say do this, do the best book in the world, go to all the car industry, it should be an instant bestseller when it launches due to the pre-ordering landing pages. Scott Simon should buy no less than 5,000 copies. Liza should buy another 10,000. That's easy. The SO2 crowd, all that. And then prep you for your next book in 2026.
Yeah.
By a regular publisher. Heather?
And
wow.
That's what I think.
That's a knowledge drop, man. Knowledge dropped.
And do we go through Amazon? Do we just go through a normal landing page? One of the things, Amazon will print on demand. As somebody orders it, they'll print it right then, versus if you go the traditional route, you're printing a bunch. I don't want to go broke. I want to get it in as many hands as possible, and I don't want to go broke. I'm not interested in making money, right? But I don't want to go broke. And so there is a little concern, like, what if, Tim Story sold 20,000 books in a couple hours with our clubhouse room, because everybody's fanatic. We have an amazing community, right? So what if we sell 10,000, books, and I'm over here with my little 7 children sweatshop trying to pack these things up and ship them out. You know what I'm saying?
Work the numbers, use a fulfillment house. And my only thing, as you already know, is just make sure the book looks legit. I'm not saying you wouldn't, but I find sometimes, not you, Glenn, talking to everybody's learning lesson, is that just make sure it looks just as good as everybody else's book. Sometimes when it's self-published, people I had my pastor do it in the basement of our church.
No.
I know you wouldn't. I'm just saying, but make it look as good as any other book on any other bookshelf. Like,
do those Amazon print on demand books, do they look good?
Yeah, what do you think? I think it could, but it all depends on the inside, the layout. Yeah,
it depends on the design, I think. And I don't know anything about this, Ramon, so you tell me if I'm wrong.
You're right, Heather.
But it goes back to the designer and what they send to Amazon. I mean, Amazon can print something nice, but what are they working with?
That's right. The layout should be legit, and the cover should be legit, and then make sure the quality of it. That's all I'm saying. So it doesn't matter how it's printed, can matter, but really you want to make sure it just looks baller.
Gotcha. So basically what you're saying is I need to use some AI tools. I need to go to Midjourney, have Midjourney create the cover, and then
here we go. I'm going to ask y'all a question. I'm dying to know this. I'm dying to know. I love that you both are advocates for tech and bringing it forward and educating. I think it's so important, and we'd be completely ignorant. Look, I'm Ramon Ray. What's up? I got more energy.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Why does it keep doing that?
But here's the deal. Where is the line for both of you personally, Ramon and Glenn, where there is a check in you where you think this might go too far? Have you heard of something? Is there any kind of red flag at all where there is any kind of concern in you of where we're going with AI?
Why are you passing? Why are you passing to me?
And there was silence.
I wanted to hear what Yoda said. I mean, so that was the moment for but listen, Heather, the answer is yes. Everything can always go too far. That's for sure. Think of social media in general, going back to the serious note, the harm it's caused our children, our marriages, our family. Think of that side, the darkness. So everything can go too far, Heather, but it is not going to stop. That is not a question. So now it's not. How are we going to harness it? So that's all my point. So hence, do I think it can go too far? Yeah, I wish they didn't invent.
What is something you've heard that you're like, maybe that's too far? Is it like the robot wife, or like, where does it come in where it's like, this may be a line that humans don't need to cross? I
was watching a picture of Barack Obama dancing in front of a jet. I mean, he was getting his groove on, and then I watched it turn into Biden and then Trump, and I'm like, oh, it's one of those video things. So, but Heather, what can we do? Meaning it's going to get better and better. One day we will not know if this is Heather for real or not. We won't. That's just it.
You'll know it's me because I'll still be jacking up this wiretap situation.
We'd program that in. We'd put a prompt and have that pretty girl pretend to jack something up 30 seconds into the show.
Now we have to. So this is a tough conversation in the sense that. So like what Ramon. So we have to be careful, right? So Ramon. Like Ramon just said, it's here. It is what it is. So how do we jump in, right? Imagine if that was our response to everything, right? It's here. Nothing we can do about it, so jump right in. Think of evil things that are here that we should not just overlook, right? And we should not just jump. Like, racism exists, it's here. Let's just jump in and I'll be racist. Like, we got to be careful with that, right? Human trafficking, billions of people, they're doing it. Let's just jump right in. There's nothing we can do to change it. Like, we have to be careful when we say those things, I think. So when Ramon says, well, it's here.
Well, the tool, I mean, just to be clear, the tool.
I know. I'm just saying, like, so I get where Heather's going, okay, where is too far? And what is too far? And then there's the other side of me that's like, okay, well, we've already gone too far. Like, it's already gone too far. It's already a part of our lives. This thing right here is where it all really started. This little extension of us that we can't even go to the bathroom before we have our phones in our hands anymore, right? And this, I only got one of these 15 years ago. Wasn't that long ago I got my first smartphone.
That's wild.
That was just 15 years ago, very first smartphone, right? And you couldn't even have access to Facebook unless you had a college account, right? Like, and think about what's happened in 15 years. It feels like a millennium, right? But it's just been 15 years. And so I think, like, we've already gone too far in a sense where it's, and so I'm with Ramon too, when it's kind of like, well, let's embrace, and where's the opportunity in this, and how can we use this for good? And so I try to go back to, like, source, right? To me, source, best-selling book of all time. And I'm just like, what would Jesus do with this? Like, if he had it as a tool, he's trying to disseminate a message of hope, right? Would he use the tool? Would he not use the tool? And it's a deep question for me, because I don't necessarily know the answer to that, right?
Here's a question.
In one story, he's riding in on a donkey, right? But on another hand, you know, he's delivering a message to 5,000 people, and then on another hand, he's asking his 12 disciples, which my wife gets mad at me when I say disciples. He's asking his disciples to go and spread the word, right? He's like using the tools and resources at his. So I don't freaking know. I am seeking to understand all the things.
Heather, do you think that Jesus would get upset if Peter used ChatGPT for one of his messages in Antioch? Or would Jesus say, that's okay, Peter, because I knew you're busy, so use ChatGPT? And then, Glenn, I'm curious what you think. Or he'd say, nope, all the disciples, you have to pray to get, you know, to share with the people, or if we're busy, once in a while, ChatGPT. And second, would Jesus ever use ChatGPT? I think that's a strong hell no. He would only pray to God.
Here's the deal. Y'all don't get me wrong. Every day, I use multiple AI tools. It has helped my business. It's helped me overcome things I don't understand, like tech, like, hey, write me a quick code. Where do I put that code? Blah, blah, blah. I've used it for outlines. I love it. It's transformed so many things. I've trained my VA on it, like AI, amen, hallelujah. I can be an advocate for the tools, absolutely. And also, too, in the same sense, like, not pick a side where I can hold space for, like, also, where are we removing something that has the real magic and the real miraculous spirit in it, which God placed in all of us? And let's be mindful to preserve that. Yes. And I know we're just playing here, but like yesterday, seeing Glenn's, you know, the mechanical piece to it. I think that's just a prime example of, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we can hear the words, but the words fall flat on the soul because it's not coming from a human. I didn't personally get inspired yesterday by robot Glenn Lundy. I didn't want to move. I was actually wanting to, like, kind of hide a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I think that is a prime example of, like, you know, you can say the same thing, but in the way it's delivered is so freaking important. I just want to preserve that.
Yeah, there's a frequency and a vibration behind it, right? That is for sure. With that said, we're in very early stage. I don't know how much different it will be in the years
You
to
love
come.
AI, Ramon. You
No,
love
I
it.
love it. I'm smiling because Heather, you don't. I was a pessimist as you were just a few hours ago, as it were, jokingly. But Heather, there's coming a time, Heather, where really some dude in Romania is going to take all the video you've done and have a Heather parody show. Nothing you can do about it, and you're going to think it's you, knowing that you're out with your kids. But you're going to think, "Am I live right now?" And it's going to be some guy from Uganda who's producing a Heather parody show, and you can't do nothing about it.
And what does that mean? What does that mean for the guy from Uganda who before didn't have clean water and couldn't make $1, but now he has the Heather parody show that's playing in Uganda, in Ugandan, whatever language they're speaking there, and he's generating and he's making $10,000 a month from streaming this podcast that is now ultimately completely transforming his family for generations to come. Whereas before he didn't have access to any of that, but now as long as he's got a computer, a little bit of internet, and a mud floor to sit on, he's able to create and generate. That's the kind of stuff that I look to. But anyways, we could do the AI thing forever. We could go forever.
I'm sorry, I brought it up.
I think we were supposed to. Originally, I thought we should probably interview Ramon, and then it turns out that the three of us just had a conversation the entire show, which has been great. I don't know if anyone in the audience picked up anything or not, but I sure did from this conversation.
They did, Glenn. I'm watching the chat on Clubhouse, and it's on fire, but you'll see that in a bit.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure. Like, I guess we're supposed to say, hey, Ramon, how do you become a speaker, and how do you get on the stages and tell us the story of your life and where did this come from? And, we're supposed to do all of that. And I just wasn't really feeling that today. Feeling a little more Bobby Altoff today, just kind of off the top. Like, let's just rock and roll. I'm just saying. Heather just froze in a laugh. You see her? But now she's like this. Look, she's like turned into an AI. She's stuck. Look, did we lose her? Did we lose you, Heather? Yeah, we lost her. Look, it's AI
Her
Heather.
audience hear that.
It's still there? You can hear her?
Yeah. I hear her saying I'm here.
Heather.
Yeah, she's here.
Is Glenn
There
here?
she is. Now I hear her.
Yeah.
There he is. You went into AI mode real quick. On a serious note though, Ramon, you've really elevated your career and you do a lot of things for small businesses. Celebrity CEO is your book, and then you have the BWC Daily newsletter, and then you have what's the third one? There's another
zoneofgenius.com, my publisher of zoneofgenius.com.
Yes, zoneofgenius.com. You have like all these things. I am kind of curious how you can go speak at least twice a month. You're super involved with your church.
Very much.
And you've got all these different things. Like just between the three of us, since it's just the three of us, I just had a conversation yesterday with accounting, one in my business, and with my team. And it's like, oh my gosh, we have been so focused on X that we have completely forgotten Y. Like, and it's been 6 months. Like, it has been 6 months since we focused on Y, and it shows in the accounting, right? Mm-hmm. It shows. And I'm like, how did we lose sight of that, right? So shifting, pivoting, so on and so forth. How are you tracking the multiple business type things and
Great question.
Traveling so much to being able to do the speaking thing that you're so passionate about?
And family.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great question. Well, one, we're empty nesters. That helps. Two, my wife now travels much more with me. So I seek opportunities and say, hey, listen, you're having an event in Indiana. Do you want me to come and cover it? Pay me whatever you want to pay me. Enough money to bring my wife. And so that answers that, Heather. But then we're in a season where my wife travels more with me. But Glenn, to your directly point, Jamie Freyer is my head of operations. She is a beast, and I can throw everything at her. May Ann is my executive assistant. She manages my calendar meticulously. I throw everything at her. So I have a great production team as well. That's 3. And I'm in a season, Glenn and Heather. I must say, Ramon Ray is in a season of figuring things out. Full transparency. Are we okay? Are we eating? Are things perfect? Yes, my career is doing great, but I am a season of figuring out where Ramon lands in 2024. We have celebrity CEO branding clients. Ramon speaking is being locked in now in 2024. There's a big event I'm doing next year. I'm exploring, hey, should I raise my hand and help Glenn launch his book? Seriously, I'll just tell you what's in my mind with Heather parody and things like that. So I'm in a season, Glenn, of exploring, figuring it out, and seeing what will pop in a big way that then I will lessen other things. But right now, I'm enjoying the season of doing many, many things and seeing how I can make a most impact. At the age of 50 years old, I'll be 51 next year. And it's a season of exploration. I'm loving every minute of it.
Every time I talk about getting older, I always use J-Lo as an example. I'm like, but J-Lo's 53. I'm now going to be like, and Ramon Ray's 51. Like, come on, man. 50, that's all you. It's so cool. I'm curious, all these things you're doing, what is something that you haven't paid like as much maybe attention to or haven't focused on that you really want to elevate more of? Is there something that you're curious about that you want to bring more into 2024 that isn't here yet?
Korean dramas.
No. Loving my wife? Yes. Loving my wife. Well, Heather wasn't here for that, Glenn.
She wasn't, I know.
I want to know.
You don't know K-drama, Heather? You don't know K-dramas?
No.
On the Clubhouse side, if you know K-dramas, put K-drama in the chat. If you don't know K-dramas, put no K. But you don't know K-dramas? K-dramas are like Lifetime, Discovery, Hallmark, whatever forgive the word again, girly stuff. That's a word I can use, guys. I know it's not PC, but it's in Korean.
Heather, I had the same face when he told me this morning. I'm like, what?
Japanese, but K-drama, millions. I mean, there's a site called Viki. Please, people, be careful what you type in. You
I
may
was
get
gonna say
some weird stuff. But Viki, which is the
Vicky.
house of all Korean drama, we pay money monthly for it. And my wife gets all the K-drama shows. Now Netflix is in it too. K-drama, J-drama for Japanese, C-drama, good subtitles or translation, AI. And it's powerful and she loves it.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
And
why
they
I'm
have-
going to say to the end of the
Alright.
show, because a
And they have,
knowledge
like-
drop like that.
Yes, they have like 20 or series of, what do you call it? Not episodes, but yeah, each one could have 30, 40 episodes, meaning, and then seasons. You know what I mean? We do like 10 or 12. They have 16, 20, 30, 40 episodes in it. It's crazy.
I side railed the question though. So Heather had asked, what is it that you are not doing? Yeah.
Sure. But thank you, Glenn, bringing us back.
And thanks for, bringing
Yes.
K-dramas
So-
to the world.
Two things. One will be, just opening up again my business for others as learning. So coaching is something I've been doing new on the celebrity CEO side, building a coaching program. That's tough. It's new for me, Heather. So that's just sharing about my business. But number two, youth. I would love, Heather, and I thank God for Christina Howard has an event she's doing in January. I think Glenn may be there as well. I would love to do more impact. No money to me, Heather, but I would love to impact more lives of young people. But it's not my lane. It's, I know other people do it for money in a good, honorable way, but I would love a few times a year to speak to more youth because I know I have a message for them. It's just not my lane and it takes more energy, but more young people help somehow. I would love
Let's
to
go.
do.
I love it.
Dude, speaking in front of young people is so hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's way harder than speaking in front of adults.
They
Way
don't care about
harder.
you at all.
I disagree. I would rather talk to young kids all day long than adults. Adults are the scary ones.
No. Have you spoke on a stage with an audience of 300 kids?
I have. I've done more with
And you
young
like
people
that
than I have
more?
adults. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Because they don't mind. They don't know when you mess. They don't care when you mess up. In fact, they like it. Like they like the rough, unpolished. Like I don't know if y'all have picked this up yet, but your girl's unpolished, and I that's a part of my personality, And so I feel like kids really embrace that side to things because the moment that you start coming in with this like really perfected thing, they don't trust you.
Wow. Maybe
And
that's
where did you
it.
speak to the-
Maybe the kids just don't trust me because I get up there and I'm like, I'm used to laughs at certain spots and ebbs and flows, and it doesn't happen. They're just like looking at me, picking their nose, like, what is this freaking Yahoo doing up here? And I'm just like, it's so much. That must be it. They don't trust me. I'm not.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's it, man.
Raw enough.
You're like, who's this AI guy? Who's this robot?
Wow, Heather, you went there. Wow.
I'm just playing. I gotta bring it back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, Ramon. The kids need more. They need an Uncle Ramon. They've got an Aunt Heather.
yeah.
They need an Uncle Ramon.
I
Come
would love to do
on.
that more and more and more. I just love young people. But Heather, I understand your point, but I think also to Glenn's point, I know we're joking about the trust, but it could be where we're speaking at as well. But I've been in some crowds. I love speaking to young people, but I just do find it is harder than adults. Young people, if you don't capture them well, put it that way. And I know I
Yeah.
can. It's a bit of a different bar. Scrolling on their phone, they don't care, chewing gum, laughing,
They're
talking.
listening when they're on their phone, though.
Heather,
They are.
okay. Well, yeah. What experiences, trust me.
It's a different generation. It's a different
I can get down and
generation.
dirty young people, Heather, but in my 2 cents, Heather, no, it's a tough crowd for me. Maybe you talking to all perfect kids and all that. Me and Glenn, maybe we talk to just, I don't know, difficult kids.
I unbelievably resonate with both of you. When she made that statement, I felt the black don't crack 51-year-old Ramon. Right? I felt that, right? I'm like, what do you mean they're listening while they're looking at their phone? If you get off your dang phone and look at me. I felt that. And at the same time, I instantly was reminded of my kids saying things to me, repeating things 9 weeks later that I thought they were not paying attention because they were looking at their phone or they were looking at their screen or whatever. Or I'll just hear them. They'll be in whatever world and they'll spit off some quote from dad 3 weeks ago. I'm like, so just now when she said that, I literally felt both. I felt
but Glenn,
both the all go.
Age.
You probably said it, in fairness, said it over and over again. I hear you, Heather, but I think also, because my kids did the same, my daughter's older now, and things I thought they weren't listening. She's like, Daddy, I told my friend who's applying for his job that he should send a thank you card. Because, see, now I'm getting ready. That he should send a thank you card because you told me that.
Mm.
So they do listen, but I have a feeling also it's not because of the one time we said it, because of us right here.
Mm-hmm.
This beautiful Rise and Grind show with Heather Parody, Glenn Lundy. Thanks for inviting me here today. We've probably poured into people over and over and over and over and over. And I think to your point, Heather, yes, they're hearing once and they're scrolling at an event, but for I think most of the time because we said over and over again, don't forget, put your tie up a little bit more. We said it 27 times. Hey, did you say thank you to her? And now when they're older, they're doing the same thing.
Mm.
You are a professional, man. Bringing it all the way back home right here.
Didn't mean to, but thank you.
Oh, so good.
On that note, it's already 6:30. An hour just rocked by. That was awesome. Ramon, thanks for joining us. Obviously, you guys need to blow Ramon up today. If you would, please send him an encouraging message, whether that be through Facebook Messenger. I'm sure you can find him on Instagram. You can connect with them on Breakfast with Champions. Whatever you want to do, just lift him up, encourage him. We love you, Ramon. I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished over the last few years. You're a great friend, a servant leader. You're just a very young looking black don't crack 51-year-old man. You're all the things. And I'm glad you're not watching as much news anymore. And we didn't get into that, but I'm so glad to hear that because that's a good thing. Heather, what do you think about this guy?
Sure. I think he is brilliant. And I think it's so cool to be able to have relationships in your life where you can have honest, open conversations and disagree and it be respectful and kind and generous, because that's the only way that we grow. So Ramon, thank you for being the kind of person that can hold space for different thoughts and stuff. I think this was a great example of exploring things, disagreeing and laughing in the midst of it. And that's why we're here.
And if I may as well, just want to add, I know what time is over, but I just want to say thank you all. I said it already, but I just want to add again as we all uplift each other, which is good. Just Glenn, while I have the chance publicly and saying in front of thousands of people, thank you for starting Rise and Grind in a closet, as it were. Thanks for coming on Clubhouse. Thanks for founding and building the Breakfast with Champions community. Thanks for introducing me to Heather. I was in line at VCon and this girl, hey, right, you Ramon, or hey, Ramon. I'm like, whoa. So thank you and all our friends on Clubhouse. So I know we're going to get to briefly in a minute here, just as I think of Pastor Jeff and Dora, Mary Lynn and Christina and all the people. Thank you, Glenn, for the gem you are and what you bring to the world. You've changed me, made me a better father and husband in person because of you, things you said, and the people you've brought to the table. So thank you, Glenn Lundy.
I appreciate you, man. Lots of love here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. No, we'll be back Monday, 5:30 a.m. to do it all over again. Hashtag rise and grind.
I'm Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Magazine and smallbiztechnology.com.
To celebrate small business success, stand up on your feet.
If you want to grow and advance in this digital revolution, in this new economy, you must be able to serve your customers as they want to be served.
Success comes from failure.
It's always about the persistence, about the grit, about the keep going, keep going, keep going.